Hey everybody, it's Rick Dawson. Looks like we're ready to go here. So glad you're here to learn about the new system my staff and I have been working on for the last year or so. Now, I'm known in the tax sale world as the deed grabber, and you'll see why here in this presentation. And once you've seen this latest innovation we put together, you're going to love this because you can make some great money while saving yourself a ton of time and frustration. And you're going to see the income potential of this new approach and how it's going to be something you're going to want to get involved with, whether you're just starting out or even if you're a successful investor now. So what I'm going to share with you here over the next hour, this is something you're going to need to put into action. As you see here in a minute, we've already made it really easy for you to put this into action. But as with anything, you won't get to participate in the spoils if you don't put some effort into getting this going. And I think we all know you can't make any money with the business if you don't get started and take advantage of what you have available to you to make it happen. So that's my little disclaimer here. But I promise you that if you take the system that you're going to see here and apply it, there's really no limit to what you can accomplish, and in a pretty short time too. You'll be able to do as much business as you want, and you'll see as we go along, there's almost an unlimited supply and demand for the deals that we're going to go over. And you're going to get started with each deal already halfway done. And you'll see what I mean by that pretty quick here as we get started. You're going to start each deal with an accepted purchase agreement in your email box for property at only 10 to 15% of its value. So I'll get right into how this works, and I promise you'll be amazed at what you'll be able to do using this system. Within a few minutes, you're going to be saying to yourself, how do I get involved with this? That's how excited I know you're going to be. It's going to be something you're going to want to give your undivided attention to. So if you have a couple other monitors going on next to this one, maybe with a Facebook and Twitter feed going and email, just give those a break for the next hour or so. Take a second, grab a pen and paper for some notes, and leave that email for later after the presentation, because you're going to be getting a bunch of emails soon after you see what we're doing here. They're going to be a lot more exciting than what's been coming in lately anyway. So I can promise you over the next hour or so that we spend here, it could really change your life. It could give you a whole new way to do deals in any state, no matter what state you're in. And it's going to give you a new hassle-free, safe way to create a big cash flow with having very little invested. In fact, I'll show you how you can put together as much monthly cash flow as someone with 10 or 15 free and clear houses in just a few years, again, without needing tens or hundreds of thousands in capital or having to borrow millions like a lot of real estate investors do. And you're going to wonder why an investor would ever put together a rental house portfolio with all the hassles and risks that are involved with that once you see how simple and doable this is. And because of that, anyone can take advantage of this, see some big results in a short time, and I promise you that you'll see as we go along how you can be the one with deals just like these under your belt in no time. So question on everybody's mind must be, aren't tax sale properties obtained at auctions? Well, usually they are, but that's not how we're going to do it here. That's how most investors hunt for them, but I'll show you how we can get them without any kind of auction, and we can bypass a lot of those hassles that we're going to find at an auction. So first, let's go over tax sale auctions in general a little bit. So in about half the states, the system's pretty simple. When property taxes become delinquent for a certain amount of time, the state finally just holds an auction and sells the property. And this is a tax deed auction. And you'll be entitled to a deed, immediate ownership of the property as soon as you pay the auctioneer. And it's pretty straightforward. Now, the other states have a tax lien auction. And the rules here can get a little more complicated, and they're different in each state. The county sells the uncollected tax debt that's owed to them. They sell that to you instead of the property itself. And then you're owed the money by the property owner. So you basically step into the county's shoes, and the property owner owes you the money now instead of the county. Now the county does that to keep their cash flow more even and just keep the money coming in as they expect. And it's encouragement to owners to pay on time. So why would you want to take that into the bargain? Well, you gain the right to earn the interest and penalties on the money that you invested when the owner finally pays the taxes. And if they don't, eventually you get the right to take over the property ownership if you don't get that reimbursement with the interest from the owner after you wait a certain amount of time. So under the right circumstances for the right type of investor, this can be a win-win, because you either get the money back with above market interest, or you get a property that's worth a lot more than you have invested. And I'm guessing Most people on this call have looked into tax sales. They've sort of known the basics of the two systems that we discussed here, but let's go into a few more details that go along with each auction. So at tax deed auctions, you almost always bid against others, and the bidder who's willing to pay the most wins that property. And winning bid must be paid in cash. It's due immediately, usually the same day of the auction. Even, I'll tell you, at some auctions, they even wait to start on the next property until the winning bidder comes to the front of the room and literally presents that cash or cashier's check. Then they go to the next property. That's how immediately you can need the cash. Now, in most counties, these sales only occur once a year. So at a minimum, you're only going to get once a year, or one chance per year to participate. And you'll need all cash, and so that tends to limit how much business you can do from a single county tax deed sale. Another limiting factor is that competitive bidding might not leave prices low enough for you to get the kind of deals you want. Even if you can get one, when you get your tax deed, you're not going to be able to resell that property for a few more months until you complete another legal process called quiet title, and that takes 3 to 6 months and quite a bit more money, between $500 and several $1,000s. Now, the draw to tax deed sales is that the bidding starts at just the amount of taxes owed, and that's usually a tiny fraction of the value of the property. So if you go to an auction where there aren't many bidders, or you're able to find a property that most people missed, you can walk away with some amazing deals, and all the hassles I just mentioned are well worth it. You can go through and get quiet title on it if you've gotten a property for a tiny fraction of what it's worth. So you'll have to have some dedication to attend a lot of different sales, especially going to ones in smaller counties. That's where there tend to be more opportunities. And you'll need to have the tools to evaluate a lot of properties to make tax deed sales a success for you, because you're going to have to go to a lot of sales to find that one property that works out for you. Now, tax lien auctions are similar in the respect that they're also cash, all cash, and there's some kind of competitive bidding system set up with those also. That's different from state to state. But this bidding system will determine who gets to purchase each lien at the auction. And so there's a lot of different ways this competitive bidding is set up. It can be increasing the amount you have to pay for the lien, or it can be reducing the amount of interest you make until you're the winning bidder or you decide to drop out. Now, biggest difference in the two systems is most liens that are purchased don't result in you getting a property. Most lien purchases result in you getting repaid with interest and not getting the property. And that's not a bad thing if you're looking for a way to invest a lot of capital and earn a decent interest rate on it. Now, when you get a property as a result of buying a tax lien, that'll be many months or even years later after you buy the lien by the time you become the owner. And at that time, you got to do a foreclosure to turn your lien into a deed and get ownership of the property. And like the tax deed sale, you then have to go through that legal process called a quiet title, or you won't be able to resell the property until you do that. Title insurance companies just won't insure tax deeds without a quiet title. And finally, because each state's got a different set of ground rules for their tax lien sale, you've got to dedicate time to master a new set of rules before you invest in any new state. So these issues can all be overcome with some effort, and the effort pays off for a lot of investors for sure. The choice between earning above market interest rate on your investment or getting a bargain property really isn't a bad one at all, especially if you have a significant amount of capital you can tie up for several years and you're willing to treat your tax lien investing pretty much like a second profession. It does take time and dedication. And as you may know, all mortgages and liens are wiped out when a property is sold at tax auction. So when you do succeed obtaining a good property, it's free and clear, and you've probably done pretty well for yourself. So by their nature, both kinds of auctions, they can require traveling, time, dedication, and fairly significant investment that can be tied up for an unpredictable amount of time. Now, the reason I'm pointing these things out before we get going, and the reason I'm reviewing these things for you isn't because tax auctions are a bad investment or that they aren't a potential opportunity. They just aren't the right opportunity for a lot of investors. And I've learned in my 15 years in the tax sale area that if you're going to find success at these sales, it's only going to be if you find a specialized training and tools that put you on par with the A players at each sale, or you're going to just find yourself walking out of the auction with no purchases, or purchases that'll often lose money for you because they were passed over by everyone else for good reason. You're going to need a large amount of cash, or at least a modest amount of cash that you don't mind tying up for years to play that game. So, for some investors, that's not a problem. It meets their objectives. But for others, it's just not an investment that's right for their situation right now, or a commitment that they're able to make. And when I first started in tax sale investing, I quickly learned I was in that second group. I started out my career rehabbing houses. I went straight from business school to rehabbing houses, never even got a job. And that was a cash intense line of work to be involved in as it was. In hindsight, I could see that rehabbing was one of the more difficult ways of making money in real estate, and I didn't recognize the amount of risk that it carried, not least of which was borrowing hundreds of thousands of dollars at any time, and depending on the mortgage market to be good, so buyers could come along and take me out of the deal before expenses ate up all the profits. And after a few years of fixing houses, the stress of managing crews, making loan payments, making the payoff deadlines on those short-term loans, juggling everything else that went into rehabbing, it was really wearing on me, and I was on the lookout for other ways to play this game where I wouldn't have to go through all this stuff. And right around then, tax sales appeared on my radar screen. Now, it started out when I found myself buying fixers from the same broker over and over again. And at the closing, I noticed it was always one of a couple companies selling me those properties. And I learned from the broker later that these sellers were big tax sale investors in my county. So I figured they were making money with these, and I could too. If nothing else, maybe I could cut out the middleman, buy the properties at the tax sale myself cheaper, and make more on my rehabs. So I put together all the cash I could. I learned about how my tax sales system worked in my state, which I had to buy a lien and wait 1 year to potentially get properties. So I ran out, I researched hundreds of properties that were going to be sold, and back then there wasn't any better way to research the properties on the list than getting the newspaper and driving by each and every one if you could find them. Now, a lot of them didn't have a street address. Like if they were land, they didn't have street addresses, or they had an inaccurate street address, and it would make you think there was a house on the property when it was really the vacant lot next door. So today, much better with some of the research tools out there, but back then, it was really a nightmare. Nevertheless, though, it was exciting to have a hope and expectation that I'd be getting some dirt cheap deals at the sale that was going to be held soon. And to make a long story short, I went to the sale and I discovered for myself just what I explained to you. In one way or another, all tax sales are competitive because of that bidding system. And I didn't have any kind of edge over the other investors at the sale, so I didn't walk away with any of the bargains that I was hoping for. And I learned later the big companies at the sale had a lot more money than I did, and that most of them worked with investment funds that weren't even theirs, right? They weren't even their personal money. They were actually just sort of proxy bidders that were paid based on how much they purchased at the sale. So you can imagine this led to overpaying and a general lack of concern for whether they were investing wisely or not. Now, most of these companies at the sale were out of business within a few years, but there was always more to take their place. So, that didn't help me that they'd gone out of business, because it would just come, new ones would just come along, and it would always be competitive. So luckily, though, I was only days away from discovering a side entrance, I would call it, that would allow me to get involved with tax sale deals where I didn't need to tie up big sums of money. I didn't have to compete with other bidders, and I could get marketable title, meaning I wouldn't have to go through that quiet title process I was telling you about. I could get properties without any of those hassles, and there's nothing preventing me from reselling them immediately to regular buyers with title insurance. So how this happened was that real estate broker I was buying a lot of my properties from, his name was Jonathan. He's actually my attorney now. He's become an attorney, and we still work together closely on tax sale and real estate deals. Back then, Jonathan called me up and asked to borrow one of my work crews for the day to clean out a house he'd just gotten a listing for from these tax sale buyer clients that he had. So I sent them over to this house, and when I stopped by later, I saw that they'd been asked to move the former owner out of the house, and it was a really sad scene. I mean, the owner was an elderly lady who wasn't in the best of shape, and they were having to kick her out of a house that she'd owned with no mortgage, and all she'd done was failed to pay her taxes for the last couple of years. And I don't think I need to elaborate on that situation too much for you to imagine how unpleasant, unsettling, and just terrible that whole thing was. So, and on a side note, when you invest at tax auctions, I hadn't mentioned that earlier, you never really know what you're going to find when you get ownership of a property, and you've got to be prepared to handle these kind of situations, and they're never pleasant when you've got an owner in the house when you get possession of it. So I guess at least a lot of times you'll be in a position to let that owner stay in the home, but that wasn't how this tax sale company operated. So anyway, I got home and looked up the property, and I was amazed that the owner had lost the house, which was worth, I'd say, $125,000 because of $5,000 in late taxes. So if she would have come up with $5,000 just a couple months ago, this situation wouldn't be happening. So I thought to myself, man, I wish I'd known to come by here a couple months ago and I'd offered to buy that house. I might have even gotten it cheap enough that I could have let her stay for years if I wanted to in that house as a tenant or something. And that's when it hit me. Even though I missed the chance to do this win-win deal with the owner, I wouldn't miss the chance next time around to be able to do this. So soon after that, I went to the county courthouse to see how I could find a list of people who were going to be in the position of losing their property to taxes again. And it turned out to be a lot easier than I was expecting to get this list of people that were in trouble with their taxes. And it turned out it was public information. I could go to the courthouse, request it, or make copies of the records anytime I wanted. And, now in the meantime, records almost everywhere have gone electronic, so they can be requested by email. And there aren't a lot of fees for copying charges or research charges anymore because everything's in a spreadsheet already. It can just be emailed out. So there's not much of a reason to assess a big charge for the information anymore since it doesn't involve copying or digging through records. So getting the list of people who were delinquent was a cinch back then, and now it's really easy. If you just send a form letter by email requesting the list, we usually get it back in no time for little or no charge. So now we know who's heading down the path of losing their property. So at this point I was really excited. I found a way to participate in the tax sale process, and I wouldn't have to go up against bidders where it really wasn't a fair fight, to tell you the truth, and where I'd have to tie up my money, which was already a rare resource for me being in the rehabbing business. I wouldn't have to do any of that to have a chance at getting some property. I was a little apprehensive at first because I realized this strategy was a lot like that classic mortgage pre-foreclosure game where you visit homeowners who are being foreclosed by their mortgage company, and that's a strategy that's one of the first things you hear about when you start learning about creative real estate investing. So I tried that a few times in the past, and anytime I'd visited a homeowner in that situation, they'd already been contacted by dozens of investors. They're already desperately trying to keep their home in various different ways, and it didn't involve selling the house to an investor. And that's if they even had any equity. Most of the time, they owed as much as their house was worth anyway. So that wasn't a good experience, and to be honest, I was a little apprehensive about being in that situation again. Not really the door-to-door salesman type, to be honest, so it wasn't my strength. But I was pretty sure that there weren't too many other investors pursuing this angle, so that would definitely change the dynamics of how that would go, I'd hoped. And, sure enough, I was correct in a way. There weren't any investors that I could tell that were taking this approach, so that was a big plus. But what was even better, when I started making contact with these owners, that they're not the same kind of owners as these mortgage foreclosure owners. Properties were abandoned, so it wasn't a matter of them trying to hang on to their house. The owners had walked away from the property, and so for these owners, dealing with the property was just too much. They lived out of state or maybe had a nicer home nearby that they lived in now, and they really weren't attached to the property. By the time the property had reached this point, they'd already written it off in their minds as a total loss. Plus, property was in bad condition a lot of times, and they thought they couldn't sell it without fixing it up, which totally isn't true. Being a rehabber, I knew there was a great market out there for properties needing repair because that's what I've been buying, and that's what others that were rehabbing wanted to buy if the prices were reasonable enough. So when I came along and I offered them a modest sum to take over the property, it was found money for them, and they could put the situation behind them immediately, so it wasn't difficult to get deals done. I became a seller of properties to rehabbers instead of being a rehabber buying properties. It was great. At this point, a lot of times I'm asked, well, what about the mortgage on the property? That's a good question. And it has a surprising answer. Hardly any of these properties had a mortgage. They were almost all free and clear. And it turned out a lot of them were inheritances that the owner didn't want to deal with, like properties that had been paid off a long time ago by their mother, let's say, and neglected ever since. Later, I realized most mortgage companies collect the taxes along with the payment each month, and they make those payments like clockwork. Even if the owner's supposed to pay the taxes, the bank gets notice that the property is going to tax sale, and they come in and make that tax payment to keep themselves from getting wiped out. So for those reasons, most properties in tax sale don't have mortgages. So things were really good. Lots of unwanted, unloved properties were available, and they weren't strangled by big mortgages. So I was able to pay a fraction of the value for them, resell them, and all without getting my hands dirty, so to speak. And a lot of times I would just offer a token sum of a few $100 just to make it worth the owner's time to sign the property over. It would help them just get the process over that much sooner and get a little bit of money in their pocket. So I bought and sold more than 200 properties that way, and I made really nice profits with none of the hassles of rehabbing, none of the risks of borrowing that went along with the way my old business ran. So I had nothing to complain about, except that I wish there was some way to reduce the amount of time I had to spend getting with the owners, working out deals with them, assessing the property condition, and all the other stuff that went along with setting deals up before I even knew I had an agreement with the owner. And that had really become my bottleneck to do more deals and have more free time. I started working on ways to make the buying process more efficient. So when I looked at it closely, I was not only spending half my time lining up the deals, but I was spending the majority of that time on deals that I never ended up doing for one reason or another, that just fell apart or that I decided not to do. And that was pretty much accepted as a given in the world of real estate investing, that you spend almost all of your time working in the buying process and that it was a low percentage game. And certainly that's a smarter way of operating than quickly buying bad deals and spending all your time trying to get out of them. I'll admit that. But nevertheless, it was a lot of wasted work, and I definitely wanted to spend more of that time doing the things I liked, spending time with friends and family, actually taking a vacation now and then, that kind of thing. And so then I had an idea, what if I sent out a purchase agreement to everybody along with my letters instead of just a marketing letter? And I'd pre-fill the offer amount in there, and I put a cover letter that basically said, hey, heads up, your property is delinquent on taxes, it's going to be auctioned soon. Is this an unwanted property? I'm willing to pay you $300 for it. If this sounds good, just sign the enclosed offer and I'll be in touch with you with your check right away. There's some details to figure out in order to make this work, but the benefits to me would be huge, right? I would just do the easy deals, the ones that, the ones that just came up occasionally, the way I did business now, where the owner was ready to go and just wanted to get some money in their pocket. But I'd cut out all the time I was currently spending on the phone and doing research on properties where a deal was never ultimately in the cards to work out. And plus, if I decided to take time for myself, actually be away from the phone for a while, God forbid, business wouldn't come to a screeching halt, right? It's hard to enjoy time to yourself when you know that means business automatically has come to a halt because you're not by the phone. So this way I began working on a deal only once the owner raised their hand and told me they were ready to go at a price that I wanted to pay. And if I wanted to do more deals, I just needed to send out more offers. And I wouldn't miss deals because I wasn't there when the phone rang or I was taking time away from the office for myself. So essentially, I'd already be halfway there the minute I started working on a deal because I would have an accepted offer in my hand. So the pre-accepted tax sale deal was born. And I was able to eliminate 95% of the work involved in buying properties because the only thing I had to do was send out contracts to tax delinquent sellers. And tax delinquent lists were now easily available by email in most of the 3,000 counties in the country, and that took almost no time or funds to be able to do. It could even be done by an assistant. And so there's no talking or negotiating with sellers. The first time we talk to them is when we called to ask when and where they'd like to get their check. And we offer only 10 to 15% of market value for the properties to make sure that we're attracting only the most indifferent owners. And when we get a contract at this low of a price, it opens up some interesting options for us that we'll talk about in a second. But just as importantly, it means we're not tying up a lot of money in each deal. I mean, we can have as little as $300 invested in each one of these deals. And there's no waiting to obtain the property or to get good title because we're already buying through the owner directly, so it's not a tax sale. Pretty sweet, huh? So I skipped ahead to the end result there a little bit to where we had everything figured out and where the process was made to be repeatable and quick and easy to run. But if you're wondering how we came up with the offer amounts for hundreds of properties while actually saving time instead of spending a lot more time putting together the offers, then you're asking a good question, because just a few years ago, in fact, doing business this way wouldn't have been possible. I already mentioned what a godsend it's been, that it's so much easier to get tax delinquent records electronically now, but that wasn't the case just several years ago. So we had to wait for that. And we've made a massive investment in data sources that have only recently become available, and I'll show you those here in a second. You'll see how those allow us to evaluate the properties on the tax delinquent lists almost immediately and generate the offers effortlessly. But I'll tell you, the aha moment for us was discovering what property type that this system really worked best on, and that was land. Now, when I first started buying properties from tax delinquent owners, the property bubble had just burst, and I generally stayed away from land altogether because I figured the demand for houses was dropping, that demand for land would surely be dropping or be at a standstill, because who would build anything when there was so much on the market? And I think that was probably a valid thought at the time. And yeah, today we're not seeing those 30% yearly increases in property again like we did 10 years ago, but we're definitely just about fully recovered from the depths of that real estate bubble. And in fact, this year there are once again over 1 million new housing starts in the U.S., and that's more than double the amount in 2009 when that bubble was really affecting us. And this really means that the right kinds of land, and you'll find these land parcels all over the place on tax delinquent lists, they're selling quite quickly and easily again. So I pleasantly awoke to this fact when we bought this lot you see here a couple of years ago in Washington State for about $9,000, figuring we could double our money if we were patient enough. In fact, it was the first lot I'd purchased since 2005, and we were amazed when we contacted the local realtor who advised us to list it for $100,000. And when it sold for $85,000 within the first 30 days, I was dumbfounded. And what happened? A builder bought this and quickly built a house on this lot and resold it. So there was definitely a market for this kind of property. And needless to say, we wanted to do more of these deals, and we set out to learn what kinds of land and where we're selling again. And it wasn't just areas that there was a lot of house building going on. It was areas where there were large open expanses of land too that people just wanted for recreation or for a future home site, stuff like that. So we discovered it was very easy to generate offers on a mass basis for land after doing only a few minutes of research in the county to make sure the county was good and then to get a little bit of a feel for the prices. And best of all, the land was really easy to sell once we applied a couple simple guidelines to what we'd acquire. So it makes sense when you think about it, because property values are very sensitive to property conditions when you're talking about housing and you're talking about other kind of improved property. I mean, even within a small town, 3 factors can make a big difference in what a property's worth. Location, location, and location, right? Well, the land we purchase is relatively uniform, and it's not as sensitive to location like a house within a little town can be. And we found that there's a sizable cash market for land, and besides that, an almost unquenchable market for land if we're willing to finance it. In other words, if we're willing to take a down payment and take our payments over time. And since we're paying so little for the land, financing it to buyers is an option that's always easily available to us. We don't need a lot of money to be able to put out there and hope that we get paid back. We usually can get our investment back with just our down payment. So in a lot of cases, we're completely out of the deal the minute we finance payment to the buyers, and then the first payment and everyone we get thereafter is pure profit. And financing land's great for a lot of reasons, because not only it sells faster, but just as importantly, we can get a much higher price, sometimes several times the price, if we finance the land. A lot of our buyers are not able to buy a home, but when they learn they can start building equity in a piece of land with a relatively small monthly payment and down payment, just several $100s a month, they're really eager to begin working on their own American dream, so to speak. So it's been apparent to me in some cases that the equity they've built in the land they buy from us, it represents most of their savings. So we're happy to help them buy up an asset to begin building for their future, while we make markups of like 10, even 15 times our investment or more on these transactions. So land's easy to deal with while it's in inventory is another thing we realized. Taxes are minuscule compared to houses, sometimes as little as $40 a year, and maintenance just doesn't exist, right? There's nothing to fix, nothing to maintain, no tenants, no toilets, and the buyers can't take it with them in the middle of the night, right? Unlike some of the appliances in my rental houses that often accompanied my tenants when they moved. And, everything fell into place basically between the ability to get the tax delinquent lists, the ability to easily generate the offers, and the recovered real estate market. So all we have to do is determine the price per acre of land in the county that we're working in, which we can do online in just a few minutes, and then offer 10 to 15% of that amount to hundreds of tax delinquent landowners. And we just keep an eye on our email box. And by the way, for $9 a month, we got a fax number that automatically sends any faxes we receive right to our email box. So we don't even have to mess around with the fax machine anymore. So almost all of our signed offers come in by email. And if someone doesn't want to take the offer, that's fine. We simply never hear from them, and that's fine. Tax delinquent owners in general tend to be what I call don't wanters. But landowners in particular tend to be part of that group. And a lot of the sellers, they bought this land years and years ago with a dream to build for the future, maybe like our buyers today. Maybe they wanted to camp on the land or RV on the land, and life just got in the way. And in the meantime, their tax bill arrives right on schedule twice a year. And after 10 or 20 years of putting off their dream, even maybe realizing it'll never come true, they eventually quit paying the taxes, which is right when they come up on our radar screen. And another thing is that mortgages, which are rare as it is on tax delinquent property, they're practically unheard of on land. In fact, I have yet to run into a land parcel that we've received an offer on that's had a mortgage. And I can't stress enough that when you have such a low cost of entry to buying land parcels, and you can get most or all of your investment back just from the down payment you receive, it's not a burden for you to finance these to your buyers, and in the process, you quickly build a great monthly cash flow, and it's all passive. You're not stuck with working in your backyard or even your state. We've done deals so far in 6 different states, and that's out of the 6 that we've tried. It's simple to assess an area and get started, and as you'll see in a minute, 100% of the research we do before and after making offers is online, and it just takes a few minutes. So there's zero reason to be present in the state you're working in or to visit the land you buy unless you just want to. And really, there's no business reason to ever leave your home office to start making offers or confidently buy and sell land when you receive these signed offers from owners. So yeah, it's great to have an investment that's debt-free, but land payments are all the better because you have nothing to worry about like vacancies or repairs or interruptions from tenants. I mean, picture yourself being in the business for a matter of months and finding that you're getting 2, then 5, then 10 checks in the mail, and each one of these are $200 or $300, and they're going to be coming for years in the future. I mean, you can't imagine how much more relaxing and peaceful life is when you know there's $2,000 or $3,000 a month coming into your account each month, with no potential of a midnight distress call coming in from a tenant. You have no idea what that's like unless you've been there before, and you could be there in less than a year if you just do one deal a month. Put some effort into the business and you'll eclipse that amount in a quicker time, or find yourself with a much larger amount coming in each month. So let's take a look at a few of the deals we put together using this system. Now, this is a 40-acre property in Nevada in Elko County, and it's right at the base of a mountain. It's a beautiful area for hiking or RVing or just getting away. And we were surprised we were able to get this land for a little over $2,000. And within a few weeks, a truck driver from Boise, Idaho contacted us and let us know he was very interested. And he had a load going south the next week, and he was going to take a swing by it to look. And well, he liked what he saw because he called us back. He arranged a down payment of $900 and monthly payments of $318 a month. So we made a quick $18,000 on that deal, and by month 4, we had all of our money back. So 56 more months are we still getting these $318 payments. And so I mentioned you can oftentimes get started with a property for just several $100s, and that was the case we had with this property in Indiana that we got for $600. Now, within the month, a buyer contacted us with an offer of $15,000, and they offered to pay $600 down and $300 a month for 4 years. So this is one of those deals where we don't even have to wait 4 months for full return of our investment. We had a full return of our investment the moment the deal got done. So if you're low on cash getting started, you can simply just require a down payment that's equal to what you have invested, and that way you can use the money over and over again. And once you have that monthly cash flow coming in from a few properties, You can be more flexible on the down payment that you'll require. You know, a lot of times, if we can get a quick sale or a much higher price, we're willing to take a lower down payment and finance it over a longer period. So you'll have that ability once you have payments coming in each month that allow you to do higher profit deals or a quicker turnaround if you like. So what I love about this business is the markup on the properties. Now, here's another one in Indiana we picked up. Because we financed it, we were able to get 12 times what we paid for it, and we'll be enjoying monthly payments for almost 5 years to come. So we've gotten our full investment back out of this one and some profit now already. So can you see how quickly this business could take off for you if you just put it into action? So there's a couple keys to making this all happen. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the system we put together to get these offers generated almost instantly, that system didn't exist until we put it together, and the data source that gives us all the property information for our county list didn't exist until recently either. If we didn't have this, it'd be a tedious manual process. But now we have this automated system. What it does, it takes the parcel numbers that the county gives us that are delinquent. It adds all the important information we need, like the number of acres of land. That lets us get rid of the smaller lots and the pieces of land we don't want to mess with. It allows our system to generate an accurate offer for the property based on the size. And it also adds the complete owner name and address information, which we obviously need to send the offers out, and the property type, so we can get down to just the properties that we want. The amazing thing about the system is it can look up like 10,000 properties automatically in 5 minutes, honestly. And so it gives us back the list we uploaded with all that information added, and the offers are literally ready to go right then. So here's what it looks like. Even if the county only gives us a property ID and a delinquent amount, and a lot of times they do, we upload it to our system, and right away added to that we have square footage, acreage, address, what type of property it is, all sorts of either useful things or essential things that we need in order to generate these offers. Now, I don't know if you ever sent letters using the internet before, but it is such a time saver. We upload the offer and the cover letter one time with blanks and those where the information needs to go, like the property information and the amount that we're going to offer. And then we use it over and over every time we send more offers out. So once we upload our letter and our offer once, from then we can just email over the file with the owner addresses and the offer amounts, and the letters are as good as sent. The service inserts the information into the blanks for us. It prints the letters, it stuffs the envelopes, it puts on the postage, it gets them into the postal system for us, does all of that. All we do is just email over the file with the information to make all that happen. And what's really amazing about it is these mail houses send so much mail for different customers that they get huge discounts on the postage. So they can actually do all this for us for about the same it would cost you or I to buy a regular postage stamp, right? They print stuff, provide the paper, provide the ink, the envelope, everything, all the way from dropping it off at the post office for what you and I would just pay for a postage stamp. So I love that. And they're quick too. Their standard time, have these in the mail, is 2 days, I think, and for a few extra bucks, they'll do it the next day. So all we've done so far is send some emails out to get the county lists, take those lists and let the automated system crunch them for a few minutes, and then email the results over the mail house. And now, from here on out, we're dealing with accepted offers only. Now, we usually send out 1,000 at a time or so, and you'll probably want to start with less because you could get overrun with the offers coming back if you're not careful. If you don't have any kind of staff or anything like that to help you yet, I'd say maybe send out a few hundred at first. Now, usually in a week, we'll start seeing these offers come back, and over the next 2 to 3 weeks, they come in pretty rapidly, and we've seen anywhere from 1 to 3% response rate. And so when we send out 1,000 letters, there can be as many as 40 offers coming back to us over the next month or so. Now, here's something to stress. Now, as each one comes in, we can decide if we want to buy the property or not, right? It's up to us. There's no obligation on our part to buy the property until we sign the agreement as well and return it to the seller. So it really works in our favor completely, where we get the option basically to buy the property or not. We're not obligated to, but the seller has already obligated themselves to sell the property. So there's never any reason to do a shaky deal when you work this way, because you basically just cherry pick them and take the ones that'll make you the most money and that are the safest. So couldn't be better. I'm telling you, you're going to love that period about 2 weeks out after you send your offers, because they really pour back in for a few days. There's a screenshot of my email box right after we sent out a batch recently, and Most people end up faxing the offers, but that service I told you about for $9 a month takes that fax and sends it to our email box. So they just show up in our email box and we can view them on the computer or print them out. So it's an awesome way to wake up in the morning, see all these accepted offers in your inbox that you can quickly go through, and you can take advantage of them, or if there's anything in doubt, you can just move on to the next one. It's really been fun putting the business together, not only just because of stuff like that, but because we keep getting these great little surprises now that we've been doing it for a while. And here's one. After your initial rush of offers coming back, we found that you're going to be getting these coming back, trickling in for months and even years afterward. I mean, I'm not sure why that is. I guess some sellers are really procrastinators, but look at this note that our staff wrote on February 19th, 2016. Original offer sent October 2014. Too funny. And for some reason, the offers that do come in way after we send them, they tend to be some of the best ones. And we just heard from an heir. Actually, he's the heir and personal representative of the state, which means he can sell the property pretty much any way he likes. We just heard from him. He lives in South Carolina, and he had one piece of property in Indiana left over from the estate. And he's had that estate open since 2008, we noticed. And he wants to get it done finally. And he, luckily, right then, we sent him a property offer for $2,500 on 26 acres of land in Clark County, Indiana. And he just sent us his file showing that he can sell the property. And he wants to sell the property. He's ready to go. And we're going to get it done here within the next week or so. So 26 acres for $2,500 is really amazing here. And we're pretty excited. We looked up what else is available in that county in that size range. And the properties basically start at $95,000 and go up from there. So it looks like this is going to be another one of those huge deals that we get now and then. I love those. I mean, singles and doubles are great. They make our living, but the home runs are really fun. And I do love my monthly stack of $200 and $300 money orders though too. So don't get me wrong, but the home runs are great. So I've been telling you about this property viewer that we can use to view the properties very quickly before we send out our offers if we want to, and that we'll definitely use to look closely at the accepted offers that come back. And I want to show you that here too, like I promised. Now, this viewer isn't something that you can subscribe to or get access to anywhere else, because we developed it in-house for ourselves for these deals. And it's especially designed for looking through large numbers of properties very quickly. And nobody else out there has a system that can take a list of parcel numbers like you'll get from the county and then let you flip to each one quickly and see the overhead view. A lot of counties have a system where you can type in one parcel number and view one property at a time, but trust me, that'll drive you nuts. So a couple details about this, and it's really important. A lot of the land parcels don't have addresses, so it's completely impossible to look them up accurately on Google Maps. But our system finds the property by its parcel number, which is the official identifier that the county uses, and what you'll actually be buying if you do a deal. And we used to have to go in person to the county, look at these huge books. I mean, they were probably 4 feet high, 3 feet wide, and these would show an overhead view, plastic overlay that would show you the lot lines. And it took hundreds and hundreds of these pages to show a whole county in one of these big books. Actually, there was like 10 books for my county, and it used to take 5 or 10 minutes to look up one property back then. But if you didn't really know what you were buying and what was surrounding it. And now you do, as quick as you can hit the next button on our viewer, which we'll do a live demo of that in a second. So we now know instantly that the property has road access to it or that it doesn't. And if it doesn't, you'll probably want to pass. You definitely want road access. That's something we can instantly eliminate on the front end if we want to, or at least we can make sure we don't buy if we get an accepted property offer with no road access. Now, a picture is really worth 1,000 words, and once you get familiar with what you're looking at, you can take one look at the picture and you'll know if you're in good shape or not in a second or two. So in the case of this property, I could see it has a road going along the left side of it, and so I could see it's wooded, which is a good thing in this area. And just as important, I could see it's not a junkyard, it's not landlocked. I could see that it's not a side of a mountain or something. Sometimes you'll find a property that's actually part of a lake or in the middle of a lake. Stuff like that, that's not what you're trying to buy. So it's easy to recognize and weed out properties that you're not going to want to buy or make an offer on if you want to go through on the front end and screen through them. So this allows us to review the properties we're about to make offers on. And you'll see here we'll do a live shot in a second, and you'll see how cool this is. And when we get accepted offers back, we don't have to try to find the county website, if there is one that shows these images, and then dig through an unfamiliar system. Because the cool thing about our system is it doesn't matter what county you're plugging it into, we always know where to find it. It's at the same website. It's the same way of operating it no matter what county you're looking at. So you don't have to learn dozens of new systems and maybe miss something important because you're not familiar with how some county's system works. So we see exactly where the lot lines are. That's the green outline. And we confirm that there's some street access. There's even a little information window you can see there that pops up and shows us info about the property. We can even click on other properties we see on the screen, and we can see information about those properties too. So let's go over to a live view for a second and I'll show you that. So here we are at the property viewer. We've uploaded our entire list for the county, and now we can see them one by one as we flip through the screen, right? So we see a big piece of land here that's 2.5 acres. We click the next button, we can see the next one, and we can see that maybe there's an abandoned house on this one. We might want to look out for that one. If we don't want to make an offer on that, we can just hit remove and it'll be taken off of our list. Here's another big piece of land. It might have a little garage on it that looks all right. We hit next. So we can go through, make sure there's road access for each one, make sure they all look okay. This one has road access, 4 acres, that looks good. Another one here with road access, wooded, looks real good, etc. And so we can take off the ones that we don't want. And this is one that we probably wouldn't want. Look, it doesn't have any road access to it. I can see that immediately. So I'm going to remove that one. So we can do that before we even send our offers out, or we could just send our offers all out and we could evaluate them using this system when they come back in. And that's what we do. We don't spend the time on the front end because it's so cheap to send offers out to look through all of them. That's something you could do to save a little bit of money on the front end if you wanted sending letters out. So when you get done with your list, you can just re-export your list out of here and it's good to go for sending offers. And then when they come in, we go over to our individual property lookup tool, which is right here. We just enter that parcel number for the accepted offer, and now we can see a full screen view of that property. And in this case, I could see it's good farmland, which in this area is an excellent thing to make an offer on and purchase. It's 4+ acres. A land value of $40,000, and gives us all the other information we need. We can see there's road access. We can see there's no undesirable properties nearby anywhere. It's just a nice farm looking community, and it looks like something we want to move forward on. And if we wanted to look at any other properties nearby, we can just click on those and see all the information about those as well. We're going to expect to like what we see because we've only made an offer for 10 to 15% of the property's value before we started sending the offer. Alright, so what we did just now, that's where we start when we get our accepted offer back. We check out the property. It just takes a couple minutes to look it up and go to a couple websites, reconfirm that the prices are still strong in the county for the kind of land that we're thinking of buying, and that there aren't too many for sale in the market right now. These are all things that we would have noticed on the front end before we sent offers, but I just like to make sure. And so we make sure it's a killer deal, bottom line. And once we like what we see, we're going to call up a mobile notary, and there's directories of those that are located all over the country. Just about every county has several to choose from, and we'll call one of them up. She'll go and meet the seller at his house or at a restaurant, or sometimes even at work they meet, and she'll notarize his paperwork. And if this is in the county where the property is located that they're doing the paperwork, sometimes they'll just have her submit it to the county courthouse while she's there. Otherwise, she could send it back to us. We can even e-record in a lot of counties right from our office without even going there. Or we'll just send it to a service that does it. And either way, we'll have our deed on the record within a day or two, and it's quick and easy. So speaking of deals, getting done with a seller, we made an offer a while back that the owner took, and when we were setting up the closing, he said, I also have 7 more of these lots. You guys want to buy all 8 of them? I'll give you a great price so we can get them all sold at once. Yeah, we said. So he gave us the 8 parcels, and we looked those up, and we saw they were all just like the one we were already buying. And we basically did 8 deals at once instead of just 1. Not only did we do 8 at once, but each one was cheaper too because he gave us a package deal. So he gave us 8 lots that were all between 1 and 1.5 acres out in Arizona for $5,000 total. And so we sold one right away for $3,000 in cash. And I love that because now we had $2,000 invested only, and we still had 7 of the lots left. And then our next buyer wanted to buy 2 of them. So buyers buy in chunks sometimes too. And so after those first 2 transactions, we'd already made a profit, and we still had 5 lots left. We were already almost $3,000 ahead, and we've still got 5 lots left to sell. So that one was really cool. And I never realized how easy land is to sell if you work with people who can't pay out cash, but can pay you a down payment and a monthly payment. I mean, these people are overjoyed that they can actually own some real estate, usually for the first time in their life, and for a payment that doesn't kill their budget each month. And so to find them, we just pop the property onto our website, and then we put a couple ads out on Craigslist and a couple other land for sale sites that are out there. And if we're willing to finance it, we usually put that in the headline of the ad, and people start emailing us in like crazy, wanting to know more. And when someone's ready to go, we do the same kind of process we did when we bought it. We send a mobile notary, and we meet the buyer, we collect their down payment, and then we get the paperwork package sent back to us. Now, the main difference is that we don't transfer the property to the buyer right now. We keep the property in our name until it's paid off, and that way we're safe. So all we have left to do is go do another one and keep our eyes out for the mailman bringing our checks. And that's for about half of our payments. Lately, we've been getting people's debit cards and having them use that to make their payment, which is even easier. So now we not only get offers in our email box, we see our payments coming in our email box too and appearing in our bank account. So it just goes right into our account. It's set up to charge people automatically on the same day each month, and then we just get that notice in our email saying that the money's come in. Pretty cool. So this really is an amazing way to get tax sale deals, because you're going to start with lists by email from the county of delinquent tax owners, and this is inexpensive or free. You're going to be able to quickly, using the automated system, generate offer letters that are going to be at 10 to 15% of the value of the property. And next thing you know, you'll have signed offers in your email inbox, and then you don't really start your deal until then because you've got an accepted offer. Now you review the property, which doesn't take long, close with the owner using a mobile notary, and sell it online. That's really the whole system in a nutshell right there. So you don't have large sums of money tied up or at risk. And nobody ever wants to tie up their money, but it really is a cost of doing business with tax sale auctions. But either way, this business doesn't require you to do that. You're going to be doing deals one-on-one with the seller, so there isn't a guy in a chair next to you taking your low price and raising it until a lot of that profit's gone, like you might see in an auction. You have a product you can resell now, not maybe sometime in the future. You got 30 days to evaluate all the offers that come in, and so you're not under that pressure like you're at the tax sale to bid on something now and it's a done deal or you've lost it. It's not like that. You got 30 days, so while you're learning the ropes, it's a lot easier of a way to work. And then you've got lots of buyers, and by financing the properties, you can recoup your entire investment with just the down payment, or you can sell for cash. We showed you there's cash deals out there you can do too if you need cash now. And so the deal starts with an accepted offer of 10 to 15% of the value. So why finance the buyers? Let's go over that for a second. You can resell these properties for all cash, and you'll probably want to do that for a certain percentage of it. But taking payments has some really important advantages that I can't stress enough. It obviously opens up the buyer pool to a lot more people. We talked about that. But you can get a much, much higher price for the property if you do that too. And it's the way that allows you to build up a passive cash flow every month, which I think everybody wants. And if you don't know how nice it is to have, wait till you have checks that come in automatically each month. And it really adds up quick once you get going. And if you need your investment back out quickly, you can just do another deal. You can get a down payment a lot of times that just takes you completely out of the deal. So you can certainly sell for cash flow, and this is a 6-acre property we got in Georgia, and I was pretty sure we could have gotten $25,000 or even maybe more for it if we took maybe $1,000 down and $300 a month. But at the time, we had a bunch of properties we wanted to buy, and I wanted to keep the business sort of self-funding. So Realtor actually saw this on Zillow. That's one of the places we advertise, and she submitted an offer, and she just asked for a $500 commission, which was fine with us. And so these can certainly generate cash, but you'll want to take advantage of the higher prices you can get by financing them. But we still made almost $10,000 up front on this one, and maybe when you're first getting started, that's what you'll want to do to get yourself funded up a little better. Now here's a property we paid a little bit more for, $5,000, because it had an old mobile home on it and also a pretty nice metal building on it too, like a oversized workshop kind of building. And that building attracted a bunch of buyers who wanted to use it for their business so they could work at home. And someone came along with $5,000 down, which is exactly what we had paid for the property. And this was also an offer that a realtor presented, and that property was out there on Zillow too. So if you put a property on Zillow, it'll also go out on Trulia, some of the other major sites. And these days, that's where a lot of people kind of shop on their own when they're working with a realtor. So we've really run the gamut on these deals. I thought I'd show you this one. It's going to take us about another year or so to get our investment back on it, which in the real estate world is unheard of fast, by the way. But we'll be getting payments on this for 10 years. And a lot of buyers don't blink an eye when you tell them the financing comes with an interest rate of 7.9% or something like that. That's the number we tend to use. But look at what we're doing here. We're first able to mark up the price on this by more than 600% because we got it so cheap. And then we charge 7.9% interest on that larger amount, not the amount we have in it, but the amount that we're selling it for, and then financing it over 10 years. So that $2,000 is going to get us $17,985 over the next 10 years when you factor in the interest. So one deal gets us a 10-year payment stream, and just charging a reasonable interest rate like 7-8%, when you earn that on your profit too, the numbers get really big fast. So if we decided we wanted to make a quick profit, we took $5,000 cash for the property, you can see how we might have really been stepping over a ton of dollars to get a little bit more in our pocket now. But again, that's something we can do if we need to build our cash flow up. But I just want to show you how powerful this financing. And on this one, within 2 or 3 years, we'll have collected more than the $5,000 we could have gotten in cash anyway, and have 8 more years to come. So what if you did just one deal each month? And you've seen a lot of our payments seem to hover around $300, and the average term is 3 years to 5 years, so something like that. So first month, if you did one deal, you'd have a cash flow of $300 a month. That's not even too shabby. I mean, a lot of people don't have a passive cash flow of $300 a month. But by month 12, if you did just one a month, you'd have a $3,600 a month cash flow coming in. And since these deals self-fund each other, you don't need to have a bunch of upfront money to get this going, right? By month 24, $7,200 a month if you're just doing one of these deals a month. And by month 36, $10,800 a month. That's all you need to do to get to a $10,000 cash flow. Now, how many free and clear houses would you have to put together? And how many loans would you have to take out? And how long would it take to pay those all off to generate this kind of cash flow? I mean, that's what a lot of investors work on for a lifetime, is to get 10 or 15 free and clear houses that can generate them $10,000 a month or more in passive cash flow. And then you still have those calls in the middle of the night from tenants or from vacancies. You always have worries, even if you have a management company. You don't have any of those worries when you're financing out land properties like this. So now you can use my land grabber system to create profits and cash flow like you've seen here. Now, we're going to make these tools and resources available for the first 100 investors. All you got to do is upload your list that we show you how to get from the county. We'll process it for you using that automated system. And then you'll just email in the file to the mail house. We're going to recommend the one we use. Very great company that gets things done quickly and cheaply. And then your offers are on the way. I mean, you could be at this point days after you start. And you'll get access to everything that we use to do our own deals. And there's an endless supply of these properties. I mean, if you can do deals in any county nationwide, and there's hundreds of thousands of delinquent land properties at any given time in the United States, and there's more created every day. It's a self-replenishing system, I guess you could call it. There's tax deadlines that happen every day, people that miss them, and you can go back to the same counties over and over and get fresh lists and send out more offers. And you never have to visit these properties or even leave your home office. So this is the kind of property that you want to be doing deals on. We're going to give you full training. We're going to show you how to request the tax delinquent lists by email and mail once in a while. Usually they're all by email. We'll show you which counties are best to work in. There's some that you don't want to work in. Some urban type of counties are not going to work well for this. We'll show you the counties that are the best to work in, and how to remotely close these deals with your sellers using mobile notary, how to easily market your properties, and set up your deal with the buyers. So we're going to process up to 5 lists a month for you, and these are going to just be ready to email right out to the mailing house. So there's going to be no processing work for you on the front end of these. You can use our parcel viewers to see the lot lines on the properties that you're going to send offers out on if you wish, or you can just send all the offers out and check them out as they come back in. That's what we do. And you're going to get online resources for all the paperwork and checking the market conditions for each county. And I'm telling you, when you have cash flow coming in like this each month, it frees up your life to do all the things that you want to do. Best story here, if you see the picture in the lower right corner, that is actually Chicago, Illinois, believe it or not. So if you say we don't have nice sunsets here, you haven't been here on the right day, I guess. But I'll never forget, on this day, you can see my buddy there driving the boat. He comes to my house, and on spur of the moment, he says, hey, let's go out on the boat. And so we go out on the boat, and he's driving, he's saying, man, I can't believe, like 2 hours ago, I was just at home doing nothing, and now I'm driving a boat. It was his first time ever ever doing that. And then we saw one of the most amazing sunsets ever that night on the way home, and took a picture of that. Well, I couldn't have done that if I had a job, or if I had, something where I was stuck by the phone. But you could do spur of the moment, fun things you want to do. You can do the exotic things. Like on the left, you could see I took my daughter to Iceland for the eclipse, and we got to do some cool stuff. I mean, she's like laying on an iceberg right there, went snowmobiling, went to the Blue Lagoon. And, we can even hop and go to our favorite team's sporting events, and that's IU basketball and football. And we have a great time doing that. So we do basically anything we want to do because we have this cash flow coming in, and we're not tethered to the phone. And that's what I love most about it. I'm not going to post a picture of a Lamborghini up here. I don't own a Lamborghini. I like to just, take my time to do what I want to do when I want to do them. And it just leads to such a nice life to live when you can live that way. So when you use the Land Grabber system, you're going to work from your home office. You're going to buy and sell in over 2,000 counties that we have access to our data from. And you can do that from anywhere in the world. You don't even have to live in the United States to be able to do this. You're going to use a proprietary software to generate these fast, accurate offers for land that'll all make you money. They're going to come out at 10 to 15% of the actual value of the land. So there's plenty of room in there for you to make money, and you're not going to risk a lot of your cash because this land can be purchased for as little as $200. So here's what you get when you join us. You're going to get training on how to choose the best counties. You're going to find out how to get the tax delinquent lists quickly and easily, how to send out your automated offers, which really involves just uploading your list to us, and we generate those for you. How to evaluate the accepted offers and get your deed to the property, how to market the property, and how to close the sale with the buyer and do the next one. And you're going to get our nationwide county map, and those are going to show you which counties are best to work in. And there's some counties not to work in. Those will be shown on the map as well. And you'll be able to begin confidently working in your chosen county. And just as importantly, avoid wasting time in counties that don't work as well. You're going to get the county contacts directory, and that's going to show you exactly where to send your emails to get the lists you need. So it's going to be a fill-in-the-blank email. You're going to email out to the counties using this contacts list, and quickly find out what that list is for the county. Get that back by email. As you can see, that whole process takes probably 5 or 10 minutes for each county to get started. So that makes it super easy. And we process your lists, okay? When you upload your tax delinquent lists, we're going to quickly add all the missing property information. We're going to calculate those offer prices for you, and you'll have everything you need to send the marketing letters out, and that's just emailing that file to the mailing house. We'll do up to 5 lists a month. So what happens if you need more than 5 lists in a month? Well, first, if you're doing that, I got to congratulate you because you're sending out a whole bunch more letters than we've sent out to get the deals that we've shown you here so far, because we've gotten about a 1 to 2% response rate up to 3 and 4% on these, and lists average about 500 items per list that we get from the counties. So if you do that math, if you send out all 5 lists a month, you're going to send out 2,500 letters, and you're going to be getting at least 25 offers coming back to you. Now, are you going to be able to handle 25 deals in your first month? A lot of people are not going to be able to. Remember, we said it only took 1 a month to reach a $10,000 positive cash flow within a couple of years, right? So imagine doing 50 a month. That's not where you're probably going to need to be. So 5 lists a month is going to be more than sufficient for you. But one thing I've learned being in this training business, there are always a few amazing folks who get started with us, and they just love what they're doing. They're making a ton of money left and right, and they've really just discovered their calling. One of our mega overachiever students, I would call it, the ones that hit it so hard that they're doing more deals than even we do. And so they win the Overachiever Award right there. And so, as long as they come up for air once in a while to see their wife and say hi to their kids, just kidding. We really love to see that. And that person's going to need more than 5 lists a month after a while. So you can get additional sets of 5 each month if you like. And we just ask you to help defray our staffing costs. So, yeah, but guys, if you send marketing to 10 full lists a month, you're not going to be concerned about $97 at all. Trust me. But really, I'm not sure if I really stress this enough in the training video, so I'm saying it now. Send letters right away when you get started, but don't send 1,000 or 1,500 your first day. You're going to be able to send out that many as easily as you can send out 50, but you're not going to be able to handle the volume coming in, I can almost promise you. So if you're doing this in your spare time, you only need to send out 100 every week or two to keep yourself busy. And if you're a full-time investor and you have all day to work this, 200 to 300 a week will usually be plenty. So you're going to get enough that come with the system to do a lot of business. But I wanted to just reassure anyone who's going to take this big that they can get all the additional lists they like, and they're just 5 for $97 beyond the 5 that come with the system. So you're going to get all the marketing letters and offer templates you're going to need, so that won't be a problem either. These are ready to send to the mailing service, and we've tried several versions of these, and we've got a couple that are really dynamite to get opened by sellers. They give us a response rate anywhere from 1, 2, 3, even 4% we've seen. And the offer's included with the letter. Everything's merged into the letter for you by the mailing house. You don't have to worry about any of that. And the owner just faxes it back to you, which hits your email box, or they can send them to you through the mail. You get all that. You're going to have access to the online parcel viewer, so you get to see the lot lines for any of the properties that you're either going to make an offer on or that you've gotten a received offer back on. And there's no typing in each property when you look at a big list. You just upload your list and flip through them. Or when you get your offer back, you can type in the parcel number and it'll show it to you in any county. You won't have to dig up the county site, figure out how to use their system and all that. And so you'll get unlimited access to that. So next is our property listing portal you're going to get access to. You're not going to need to spend time creating your own website. Now, I'm pretty familiar with creating websites, and even for me, starting a new site, it just seems like there's a million and one things to do to try to get it up and running. And if you're not technical, you've probably never even done one before, you won't need to, because you're going to get access to our listing portal. You can list your properties online, and that'll give you a link that you can use to place in all of your online ads, and then you're good to go. So buyers will be able to find your property on Google, and you'll be able to give a website link out on any of your ads to show your property's details. And we even collect emails on this site from buyers that come along, and we send out emails to them with all the new properties that are listed on our site, and you might get some sales that way. So that you'll get that as well. And there's no ongoing hosting fees or website fees or anything like that. We cover all of that. You're going to get your guide to generating your own paperwork online, and that's for getting your deeds generated, your selling paperwork, all that kind of stuff, so that you can get properties put into your name or sell them to your buyers. And there are immediate self-service sites out there will show you that'll generate your deeds for you, and they're attorney approved, or you can choose to get with an attorney to draft these for you inexpensively. And just fill out the property information form and the paperwork gets generated. Couldn't be any easier. So we'll show you how to do all that. So you'll get our quick start manual, because I'm sure you want to get started the same day that you get access to the training. It's going to show you exactly what to do each step, and you're going to be able to get your first accepted property offer realistically in 21 days or less, because I showed you how quick it is to go through, get the list from the county, upload it to us, and send it out to the mailing house. That's all you have to do. And that you could do that your first day in the business if you wanted to. And your offers will start coming back in 21 days, maybe even less. So you get the quick start manual if you really want to just dive in and get that going. And then last, I'll show you how to get virtual assistants to make this even faster and easier. Now, first couple times, I think you should go through, request your list from the county yourself, just so you can see how it works. But there's really no rocket science to any of that, and that's something you can get a virtual assistant to do for you. Request some county lists, keep out ahead of you with those, and send them into us. They can send them into us for processing, and then you could just pull the trigger to get the letters out. That's where you could start. And you have to pay these people only $2 to $4 an hour, and a lot of times they're college educated. It's really amazing the talent you get, and they're more than happy to earn the what would be considered a low wage in the United States. It's quite desirable for them in their country. So You get involved when the offers start arriving at your inbox. Truly, then you'll have your virtual assistant for just a few bucks a week generating your offer lists and sort of even doing that whole front end part. That's a pretty quick process to begin with. So you get the full video training, that interactive county map that shows you the best counties to work in, where not to work in, county department directory and list request email that you can provide to your VA even after you get started, your proven marketing letter and property offer, online parcel viewer that I showed you, your listing website for all of the properties you get accepted offers on, guide to generating your paperwork online quickly and easily, the quick start guide so you can get your first property in 21 days or less, even how to hire virtual assistants. And so for the first 100 investors, we're going to open this program up, and your investment is $1,697. And you can get that at taxsaledeals.com. And remember, if you join us from this call, you're going to get access to the system, and you're also going to get the 3 weeks of live training with me. And that's going to allow you to ask any of your questions from the training material or the material we're presenting on the live training, or any deals you're doing, anything like that. And it's recorded, so if you can't make it, you're going to be able to view it in your member area right after that. You'll be able to review ones that you did make too that you want to see again. And so you can be able to jumpstart your business with this and clear up any questions about getting offers into your inbox and selling properties like I've shown you here. And that's a bonus for the first 100 to get this system. You've got to join from this call to get access to that. That's not something that we're going to keep as part of the offer throughout the time that we're doing this system. So get Tax Sale Deals coming into your mailbox in days from now by joining at taxsaledeals.com. Again, we have a capacity of only 100 investors. If you want to be a part of that live training, you've got to join from the call today. It's just $1,697 to get started. And I've shown you the kind of profits you can make on these, the kind of cash flow you could generate in a short period of time by just doing one deal a month. And to get started, it's only $1,697. I have another limited time offer that goes along with this. You can get your access for free to this because we've done a bunch of deals. Now I want some student deals that I can show on our presentation. So we'll give you a full return of your investment when you provide your first land deal as a testimonial. Okay, and so when you get started for $1,697, we will refund that entire amount to you after you do your first deal with the system, when you let us put that up as a student testimonial. So that's another reason to get involved now. You've seen how quickly you can get deals in, how quickly you can get them sold, and then you can even get your money back for the system. So it doesn't get much better than that. taxsaledeals.com. So we're just about done with the presentation here. You're going to be able to get these land offers for only 10 to 15% of value, and they're going to show up in your email box, and that's where you get the deal started. I've just loved that concept ever since we've started it. And then since we've learned that we can sell online and get cash profits or a huge cash flow, it's just been something I can't wait to get out to everybody. So put the system into action today. It's only $1,697. And we're going to have a breakup the payment option available for anyone that gets involved on this call. You're going to be able to make 3 payments of $697, and with today's payment, you're going to get full access to the system, and you're in for the live training. So if $1,697 just doesn't work for you right now, you can break that up into 3 payments of $697 when you go to taxsaledeals.com and get involved, and that will allow you to participate in the live training and give you full access to the entire system. So that's just about it, everybody. I'm looking forward to working with you starting Monday in the live training. Again, the Monday live training starts this coming Monday, and it's for the next 2 Mondays following that. It'll be recorded if you can't make it to the training, or if you want to review the training, and you'll be able to ask all your questions. I'll be there, and depending what number of people we have, we'll get enough staff there so we can answer all your questions. We won't hang up until everybody's questions are 100% answered on each one of the trainings. And so you get access to that even if you take the payment option. And you'll see the payment option, it's not a free option. It costs several $100s extra. Tell you the truth, we'd rather just have you take the full payment option. That way we don't have to deal with payment plans and credit cards expiring and all that kind of stuff. We want to make it accessible to you if you need it for just $697 to get started. So take the full pay plan. You'll save several $100s if you do. But what it takes is the payment plan for you to get in. That's available for $697. So get started today. taxsaledeals.com. First 100 investors are going to get the live training and everything else we mentioned. I'm glad you made it, and it's really going to be fun watching you guys build up your cash flow and make some of these huge profits on these deals. So taxsaledeals.com. It's Rick Dawson signing off, and we'll see you in the training.